My name is Dr. Toku Takahashi. I previously worked at the Medical College of Wisconsin in Milwaukee, United States. About 10 years ago, I returned to Japan, and I currently run an integrative medicine clinic in Nagoya. I would now like to begin the second seminar on love and health. It is said that pleasant stimulation of the five senses is important for increasing one's own oxytocin secretion. For example, viewing beautiful scenery, listening to one's favorite music, smelling pleasant aromas, eating delicious food, and touching or being touched by others. These visual, auditory, olfactory, gustatory, and tactile stimuli all enhance oxytocin secretion. In addition to these sensory stimuli, passive psychological stimuli also play a role. For example, when one is troubled or feeling sad and is treated kindly or comforted by a friend, the emotional impact of such experiences trigger oxytocin release. Take, for instance, going to a restaurant. Enjoying tasty food and drinks provides gustatory and olfactory stimulation. Seeing friends' smiling faces provides visual stimulation. Chatting casually with friends, comforting one another, or being comforted constitutes psychological stimulation. After that, one might go to karaoke. Listening to a skilled singer's voice provides auditory stimulation. In this way, even without knowing anything about oxytocin, we instinctively understand how to release daily stress through our habitual behaviors. There are reports showing that everyday social activities stimulate oxytocin secretion. Among social behaviors, the feeling of compassion for others is an essential element. This raises the question of whether compassion toward others stimulates oxytocin neurons in the hypothalamus. When two rats are housed together in a cage and one is sleeping while the other is playing, this is considered non-social behavior. In contrast, when rats engage in playful interactions or lick each other's bodies, this phenomenon is called allogrooming and is regarded as a social behavior. We previously conducted an experiment as follows. Two rats were housed together in the same cage. After about 1 week, only the blue rat was taken out and subjected to stress. For example, rats strongly dislike water, so we forced the rat to swim. After swimming for about 2 hours, it was returned to the original cage. On another day, the rat was restrained with adhesive tape for 2 hours and then returned to the cage. In this way, aversive stressors were applied daily using different methods over a period of 7 days. This is referred to as chronic stress. As a control, the blue rat was also taken out of the cage, but no stress was applied. It was simply left alone for 2 hours and then returned to the cage. Our focus was on the light blue rat that remained in the cage. When its partner disappeared and later returned after being stressed, we observed how the light blue rat behaved toward the stressed blue rat. As soon as the stressed rat returned, the light blue rat showed a dramatic increase in social behaviors, such as climbing onto the partner's body and licking it. Typical allo-grooming behavior. Why did this happen? The stressed blue rat returned exhausted and dejected. Seeing this, the light blue rat may have instinctively felt compelled to approach and provide care. In contrast, when the blue rat returned, without having been stressed, it came back calmly and normally. In this case, the light blue rat tended to ignore it as if to say, "Oh, you're back." We referred to rat that ignored their partners as care-avoiding rat, and those that actively provided care as caregiving rat. We then examined oxytocin levels in the hypothalamus. This region is the hypothalamus. Compared with care-avoiding rat, caregiving mice showed a striking increase in oxytocin-producing cells, indicated in brown. From this, we can conclude that providing care to others increases oxytocin. As mechanisms of oxytocin release, we have discussed stimulation of the five senses and passive psychological stimuli. In addition, there is another important factor: active empathy and compassion toward others. For example, when one actively wants to help or care for someone in distress, this intention itself triggers oxytocin release in the caregiver's brain. At the same time, the person receiving care also releases oxytocin through feelings of gratitude. In this way, both the caregiver and the recipient, mediated by oxytocin, develop an increasingly close and intimate bond. Such psychological stimuli reach the hypothalamus via the prefrontal cortex. This is known as the top-down effect. On the other hand, sensory stimuli from the five senses reach the hypothalamus via the spinal cord and the spinothalamic pathway. This is called the bottom-up effect. When these top-down and bottom-up effects act together, oxytocin is released more efficiently. Thank you so much for your listening. See you soon.